What's up, you guys? In here hanging out. Just got done with the lesson. Posted a video. Want to stream for a little bit. Just hanging. I'm not going to do it. It's about maybe an hour today. Not going to do it crazy long, but yeah. Really been liking this guitar. On a loop. I'm gonna hang out while let some people get in here. Let's loop something. Doom, down, out. Oh, I might have got a little off time there. Off time. Let's try and do it again. 3, 4. That's where I meant to get down to. I almost forgot I was streaming. Just getting so into that. Like that tone though. Cool thing. Hey, what's up, you guys? Dan, good to see you again, Dan. Had too much coffee. I agree. Booyah, you made another live. What's up, man? I'm doing a shorter one today. I just wanted to play some guitar, honestly. I just got done with Dan in here. I just got done with the lesson with Dan. Was feeling like playing some guitar, so I threw up a video I was working on editing about some Broadway stuff, and I wanted to come on here and hang with y'all. Any tips for only my second show? Sure, Kevin, absolutely. Tell me a little bit about how you felt like your first show went, and then I'll give you some tips. If you give me a little context. Drew and Mike live, what's up, you guys? How long have you been playing the Beast? I've been playing 15 years. 15 years, about. And can improvise over most things, but struggle with making it sound melodic. I've started diving into Cajun triads and feel like that has helped. Absolutely, Alexander. So everything I'm doing right there, I mean, all of it just comes back to that cage system stuff. And I can play that progression all up and down the neck, even though it's right here. You know, just because of the cage system stuff. If I'm up here, I'm thinking, I'm going 1, 5, 4, essentially. That's all it is. It's just going. It's cage shapes. Up here I'm in C-shaped E. Now I'm in E-shaped E, right? Now I'm in G-shaped E. Now I'm in A-shaped E. Now I'm in C-shaped E again. Now I'm in D-shaped E. Now I'm in good old-fashioned E. But it's knowing that for each of them, so I'm thinking I'm going from C-shaped E, even though I'm just playing a little bit of it. I'm only playing a couple notes there. Then I'm thinking I'm going down to that kind of G-shaped, or the top of the A shape, for the 5 chord, the B. Then I'm going down to that A. I'm not playing all of that, I'm just going right here. Just those 2 notes. Let me get where I like keeping that E in the bass for the 4 chord. Fun tone, huh? Oh, okay. Dave, what's up, Dave? Long time no see, man. Hey, I like the hat. Hey, thanks. Yeah, this is a cool hat. I got this from PBR in Nashville. It says professional bull riding on the back, or I think that's what it says. But what would I recommend working on? So Alexander, kind of what I was just saying. Start with E or whatever shape, and just you got to be able to play all of them. E and E shape, E and D shape, E and C shape, E and A shape, E and G shape. Just those 5 shapes. Then you can start saying, okay, if I'm in C shape, what's my pentatonic right there? You know, if I turn all the BS off, right? What's my pentatonic there? And I'm going. Better yet, even the major scale there. That's what you eventually want to turn it into. So, for each of those shapes, once you get them down, You want to be able to play the major scale off your lowest root there to start. Okay, I'm in D shape. Now I'm in C shape. Now I'm in A shape. A shape. Now we go up to G shape. If I play it right. Now I'm in E shape. So I know the major scale from each of those. And I know all the shapes. So then when I'm playing E, I can play E here, I can play here, I can play here, I can play here, I can play here. And it starts over. And on top of that, I can drone the E string and I can just play the major scale through those shapes. Now, obviously, this takes a lot of practice. You're not going to get this day one. But it's starting to think about that. Start in one shape and say, okay. Here, I hit a wrong note and just kept going. I just slid it up, you know? Now, that's really noisy. But knowing all that and putting it all together is how you drone a low E string. And I could go. Here I'm just flowing through it. That takes years of practice. But that's what you want to start thinking about with those cage shapes. All right, you guys. Got the George and the Leo Telly out. Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Every evening here in the UK. What's up, Andy from the UK? Someone might sing over the chords. That's another great freaking tip. Saw Luke McQuarrie playing last week in downtown. He sounds like two guitars playing at once. His tone is so big. I think it's from playing dissonant sounds. Any ideas how to accomplish that? You know, Luke McQuarrie is, I could play. Luke McQuarrie is a player's player, right? The cat's in town. He's got respect from everybody. Because, I mean, that kid's just that good. And I say kid, I might look young. I'm 30. I think he's like 22 or something. I mean, crazy good. And honestly, it's just not a level I'm at. You know, I could go and play some of those songs on that gig. But to play like that is, I mean, I'd call it virtuosic. You know, I mean, that dude is a monster, and everyone in town knows that too, you know. Whereas I'm just another one of the players in town. Tons of great players. I could play, don't get me wrong, but that's another level. Luke is another level. I'll try that. Hey, absolutely. Hope it was helping. Was that progression we were messing with? A flat 7, B flat, G flat. I'm not sure, Dan. When I was just playing, I was doing a simplified version of that. So I was doing A flat. I was just going A flat to G flat to D flat. That's what I was messing around with. Now, what you're just talking about is cool still, though. Let's see what you said. So you said A to A flat 7. Then he said to B flat. Probably wouldn't go to B flat. Maybe you could. So the dominant 2. It'd make even more sense to go to actually B there If you were doing like that progression. So if I was doing what you just said, Dan, and I'm going. Ha. That's a cool little groove, right? First show went good, but I feel wasn't super interactive and just felt super focused on playing my guitar. Don't want to look too boring on stage. Okay, so here's, and off the bat, Kevin, so I'll give you some advice then, since you asked for it. Excuse me. Pop my jaw. I know it's not good for you. Man, off the bat, when you say that, it's, I think focusing on the guitar when you're first starting to play the gigs is probably a little more important. The performing part can come after, but you want to feel good playing, because as soon as you start moving around a lot and you're doing a lot more, you got to be really solid on what you're playing. Otherwise, you're going to start screwing yourself up, you know? So I wouldn't be too worried about maybe you look a little boring on stage. If it's your second gig, man, just send it and try and get the parts right, you know? What you can do, sometimes you just start with that. This is a simple thing. I still practice this with Lanco, because to make sure to just get out of this world. When I'm on a part where I know it's easy and I'm just going, not looking at my hand. When I'm just strumming that G chord, then look up. Just even start with just eyes up, you know? On parts that feel easy. When you're playing, you're going to be looking down, you know? At least off the start. But, you know, if you're hitting a part where you're just going, eyes up. Yeah. So you could start with something simple like that, you know, don't worry too much about jumping around on stage, especially if you're just brand new, because I feel like that'll mess you up more, you know, so, yeah, and if you're just playing guitar and backing up a singer, you know, you're not always the focal point of attention, but yeah, I just, right now, head down, focus on the, you know, the guitar, and when you've got a moment, you can try to just remember, okay, let's look up for a little bit. I know I'm just playing a G chord for a second, look up, then glance down, we go to that D chord, you look back up. Make sure you get that C chord, you look back up, G chord, you know? But eventually that'll start to become natural. It really just takes repetition, you know, and I'll be honest, after hundreds of gigs, right, it sounds like a lot, and it is, but, you just start getting more comfortable, more confident. You feel better. You know where you're at. Your hands will go, you know. So don't get too discouraged about not looking cool on stage or whatnot, you know. Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for everybody hanging. I'm not going to do a super long one today. I just wanted to hop on. I was playing a little bit of guitar. I said, let's do it, man. Let's hop on it. Okay, let me answer a couple more questions. Thanks for the Luke is a monster player. Yeah, absolutely. How did I get my gig with Lanco? Luke, they found me on TikTok. Seriously. Now, I got the gig because that's how I got the initial call. And I only had like 4,000 subscribers. It's not like I'm some big person on TikTok. But they followed my stuff. They liked my playing. They liked my vibe because they're looking for a band member, not just a fill-in guitar player. And then I really got and secured the gig from going out and playing. and showing that I could do it and I fit in and my style fits in, and it's exciting. I mean, now we just got done with pre-production yesterday for a new song that's going to be really good. Really good. This is a different key. Whole different key and stuff. But yeah, so that's the very short story of how I got the gig. Hey Tim, do you go to Robert's Western World 25th? I didn't go to that, but I watched some videos on YouTube. Looked pretty cool. I didn't go to that though. If you were there with all the guitarists with Don Kelly. Yeah, Chris, I think all those guitarists are all people that have played with Don Kelly, and I appreciate that. I'm not quite on that level, at least playing wise. You know, I can play. I fit in great with Lanco. Like, I can add great stuff. I play good. I have great moments in the show where I solo a lot. You know, but I'm still trying to get better. I'm trying to get half as good as any of those guys. You know, so but I do appreciate that. Gotta roll. Thanks for hanging out, Drew and Mike. Today's lessons on that gig was to mainly make the singer sound good with a few moments to shine. Yeah, and that's what it really comes down to, isn't it, you guys? Like, you're up there to make them sound good, and you just freaking do your thing, add the support, and you'll get a couple moments to step out and stuff. And even when you step out, you don't have to be thrashing around. I know I've got videos of me up there being really animated, but I've played a lot, you know, and yeah, like, I've played a lot. I know the songs really well that I'm playing, so now I can sit back and focus on, okay, I need to perform. You're in the entertainment business at the end of the day. But stepping out to shine, don't be afraid to just stand up there, and when you're taking a solo, go for it. And you don't have to move around a lot, you know, move them with your notes, right? I hope that helps a little bit. Thanks, Tim. Absolutely. Hey, thanks, Kevin. I'm glad you're in here hanging out. I'm glad you appreciate it. As a guitarist, is there anything specifically you look for / want from a drummer when playing live? Okay, great question, Jeff. Great question. Obviously, some of the basics that are obvious. Good, solid time, keeping the band in check, moving everything along. If you're supposed to kick off a song, kicking it off good, having the tempo, eyes up, ears up, huge thing. You know, clicking the band off, even if I'm kicking it in, and you can give me a 1, 2, 3, 4, right? That helps a ton. 1, 2, 3. And here's another thing. Drummer-wise, this is maybe the most important. Eyes up, ears up, especially towards the end of the song. You got to be watching, especially when I'm doing some of these cover gigs and it's open-ended stuff and we're going to solo for a little while or something. I was playing recently, and good drummer just wasn't paying enough attention to me when I'm like, let's end. And then doesn't end the song, and I'm done with the solo, so then I end up just playing the chord progression again. You know, so eyes up, ears up. You're listening and saying, okay, here comes the song. Or you know, so just watching. Good time, staying in the pocket, and watching everybody. That, I think, would be like kind of my comments on that. Always pays to remember that 90% of the guitar, or the crowd doesn't play guitar. You can impress them playing the melody and bending a few notes. Super true. Lamar's right on that, you know. I always related to this. I love my mom. My mom loves music and stuff, but you're playing to a crowd of people like my mom, you know. She doesn't know, right? You know, what or when I'm playing, or if I hit kind of a sour note. If I go, if I walked into the 4 chord like that? That's all the notes. It doesn't even matter. It's all the notes, man. But I ended it. That's another thing, is I ended the phrasing right. You know, so if I go... Sounds like something, you know? Sounds like, you know? Caffeine, really just messing around today. You got to tell you what, there's a lot of noodle and a lot of BS, honestly. I'll learn that thing you do after you kick off. I want to learn that thing you do after you kicked off. What is that called? Damn. I don't know what part or where you meant, Cody. Are you talking about the sold thing I did? That's sold. Now, it's not played correct. Technically, they play it different on the record, but that's how I play it. Okay, let me see. Valentino. Great to catch alive. Hey, thanks. Telling players what to avoid in the party aspects of the previous video. Love your down-to-earth content. Hey, thanks, Valentino. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll tell you what. It's super true, you know? And it doesn't have to be... Party aspect doesn't just mean hard drugs, you know? It doesn't mean that stuff. It's really just... It comes out of the alcohol. Alcohol's worse for you than the smoking. And I don't mean cigarettes. But, yeah, the alcohol... You know, and it's so easy to fall in that trap. This past weekend, that gig vlog you guys saw, I was drinking, and I live streamed another cover gig, and I was drinking a lot, and I used to be on that gig for years, so every gig was that way, and I'm playing 2 to 4, 5 times a week, and, you know, it's a lot easier for me to say no when I'm just not around it. In Lanco, we drink some, but nothing like that. I'd never be taking a pull out of a bottle on stage. But at a cover gig, that not only is that there, I mean, the whole time the owner of the bar is bringing us shots, you know? So, yeah, was that fun to go and do again for a weekend? Yeah. Did I pay for it the next day? Absolutely. Did I play my best? No, because I was drinking. I mean, you know, when it's a cover gig and I had fun, But you just got to check yourself on getting, you wake up and it's 5 years later and you've been doing that every single gig. It's not a good habit, and thankfully I'm out of that. Yeah, it was fun to go back out, do some of that again a little bit and whatnot. I like to have fun, but my health and body is way better off for it. And my career, man. I left that gig, and within, 3-4 years, my career is in a much better place. I love those guys, too. Garrett, Matt, if you're watching, I love you guys. I don't think they're watching, but, yeah. But it is what it is, so be careful with that. Okay, I'm glad I got a few... Okay, Jason says, I'm glad I got a few hundred gigs under my belt before cell phones, but even after cell phones, keep in mind whatever went wrong is over as soon as it happened. Yeah, and that's super true. You just got to roll with the punches. And once you play a bunch of gigs, that's a skill you start to learn and develop I'm going to send it, I've had some embarrassing moments on stage. One time, One of These Nights, that song by the Eagles? I can't even remember how he played it. One of these... Was it an E minor or did I play it in B minor? One of these nights. No, one of these. I don't know. It goes, the whole band kind of hits and stops, and then the solo starts, and you do this big, something like that, right? Whole band hit and stopped, and I accidentally, I did I did it completely wrong key, And that's one of the few times I remember on stage. Also, this is at 11 in the morning, downtown on Broadway in Nashville. I've got 8 people in the bar watching us. And I'm launching in the solo, completely wrong key that I do the bend in and stuff. It's very obvious. And I just stopped for a second. I looked at the band and we all kind of laughed and stuff. And then I did go back and I ripped a good solo, but sometimes you just gotta, most of the time if I did that... Just try and save it. I don't know. Solo. I was shopping for a new Lanco song yesterday. Let's go on just doing those slide ups and it's hard, man. Man, it's hard. It's hard. Anyways, I'm working on it. I wrote the solo and I can't even play it yet. Anyways, okay. Dars, I'm a high school junior trying to decide what to do for college. Should I go to Belmont? I just want to be able to play as much as possible. I'm a guitarist. Belmont would not be a bad idea. You could major in performance music, or you could also go to Belmont, major in music business. You'll have a good backup thing that will keep you in the industry, and you'll be around. Belmont's great because I know a lot of people that just dropped out of Belmont because they're in and around town. They start playing. You're getting in the scene quicker. It's way better than going to school out somewhere else, because at Belmont, you could come down here and within your first year, you're starting to play on Broadway. You're playing other gigs outside of town, and you're really getting that school in. And if you're doing something like music business, then, you're still getting a degree where you could end up working as an agent or a manager or in PR, whatever. You don't have to do that, but you'll get to play a lot of your guitar. But the best benefit of that is you're going to be around a lot of really good guitar players, and you're getting yourself in the scene. If you go to Belmont, you're down here in Nashville. You're in the scene. You can go start playing Broadway. And I've got a lot of friends that straight dropped out of Belmont, I've got a buddy that plays on Larry Fleet. Plays on Larry Fleet's gig. Dropped out of Belmont in the first year. Now it took him 5 more years to get the Larry Fleet gig, but he's been playing and making his living ever since he dropped out just by playing guitar, you know. So not saying that's the route to go. I'm not saying you should drop out. But I'm saying getting down into Belmont and getting in the scene and around where it's happening is, I think, a great idea. And honestly, if I could do it again, I would have done that. My career would have started and then like started taking off a lot earlier, you know. Okay. Tim, ever get freaked out when you know there's a great player or players in the room, in the crowd watching? Did I ever get freaked out? Yeah, absolutely. Playing in Nashville is hard, man. Just with friends in the room. I also just go to and I hang out with a lot of honestly, really good players, musicians in general. And just at jams and stuff, yeah. I mean, so often I am the worst guitar player there. Seriously. So, yeah. The more you do it and play a ton of live gigs, and once you have a little bit of kind of success and stuff, I will say that those nerves start to go down a little bit. I feel better. I'm more confident. I do my thing. I'm not going to shred because I'm not a shredder, so I just do my thing, you know? But yeah, that's a factor, no doubt. You know, everybody will deal with that at some point, and it's learning to kind of overcome that. I think that's the thing, you know. I was playing this bad boy so much. Now I haven't played it in a second. Let's play it. And I've got maybe 20 more minutes hanging out on here. I appreciate you guys, though. Some great questions and stuff today. Some good kind of topics. I really like doing these lives. I hope you guys, I mean, people still come in. I hope it's not too redundant. I know I'm doing more lately, but I like doing this. I like throwing them up. People kind of like watching them. There's always good comments and stuff. And I won't lie, you guys tipping and stuff has been awesome lately. Been making a little bit of money from the lives, so why not? That's not required. You never have to tip. But, you know, I do appreciate all the people that have. Huh. Okay, I'm really messing around, you guys. Hey, thanks, Coleman. Okay. High score, Tim, okay, where was that? Sounds great. Hey, thanks. So you don't play to a click, not on the cover band stuff. With Lanco, we've got click tracks going, and there's no band. I'm sorry, that's wrong. 95% of bands at, under Lanco's. I was playing with click and tracks way before Lanco. All have click and tracks, all in-ears. And it's the same thing, if you came to a Lanco show and watched us, it just sounds fuller. We're all up there playing our parts, but yeah, everybody's got click and tracks going. There's some, especially in country, there's some groups like Cody Johnson's really vocal, he uses no tracks, but Cody Johnson's also got like an 8-piece band. We don't have a pedal steel player, so a wah noise we're gonna put in the tracks. We don't have a fiddle player. If there's a fiddle part, it'd be some in the tracks because we don't have that. And when you're Chris Stapleton and can have 12 people on stage and 3 background singers, then yeah, all that just comes out of the tracks. But yeah, at that Iowa gig, y'all played some 2000s punk rock, and it looked like a ton of fun. It's nice to break out of. Yeah, Dan, it absolutely is. That stuff is fun. I've never been like super great at that stuff, and I had to learn that stuff for that gig. But doing that kind of that stuff. Oh, the tone's way down. That's fun, It's fun. I knew some very talented people who burned out and worse. Great to see you doing it right and playing great. Hey, thanks, man. I know the same thing. Yeah, it's a real part. Yeah, Coleman says Belmont's a great option, but I'd also take a peek at MTSU, which you're totally right. In fact, all the Lanco guys went to MTSU. That's how they met. I obviously didn't come along till later in the picture, but all of them met at MTSU. Move this one around. I like a 5-chord voicing. Okay, 7. Okay, what does he say? Move this one around. I like it as a 5-chord voicing. I use the thumb for the bottom note, but you don't got to. Yeah, I see what you're saying. So you're going... What's he say? He says 7, 7. Hey, Cal, thanks for the first tip of the day, brother. I appreciate you. 7, 7, 5, 5. Oh, well, wait. No, I have that wrong. No, it's these two. Like this. He's going like this. So there, this is what I'm kind of thinking. I'd play it like that a lot. Or like this, and then you're taking that major third. So you're making a sus chord. There's no major third in that now. When does Avon Hot Sauce launch? Ha! That's awesome, man. Well, once the recipe gets better. The hot sauces I made aren't bad. In fact, they're good. I just used it. I've used them multiple times. I made 3. I made a mango habanero one, I made a chipotle one, and then I made or not a chipotle, I'm sorry, a cayenne one, and then a green jalapeno kind of avocado-y sauce. All great, but I need to refine the recipes. But they're good. It was a lot of fun making those. I'm into stuff like that, so... Have you ever tried a modeler front of house instead of an amp live? If so, how's the experience? I've only done that a small number of times, and I just don't. I use it as a backup. I dislike it a ton. I don't like it at all. I'm very fortunate. I'm in a band that uses all real amps. And I mean, even when I do these fly dates like this weekend, and I have a backline amp, there's a backup amp for the backlines, you know. So everything would have to go wrong for me to be plugging into front of house. Now I have an HX Stomp XL on the ground. Now I use that for all my slapbacks and tremolos and reverbs and delays. That's what I use it for. It's also my tuner. But it's my looper when I'm sitting in here. I do have it set where I could go direct in. But yeah, a lot of people get really good tones out of it. I hate it. I hate doing that. And the reality is now I've got a lot of friends that are great players that own great amps and stuff, and they show up to a gig and they have to freaking use that. Who was I just talking to? I was talking to John Bollinger, and he was talking about showing up to some gig, and he'd been on the gig for a couple years, in a high-level gig. I can't remember who it was. And he just showed up one year after break for the next year, and his amps were gone. Not his amps, but the amps he was using, and they just had an Axe-Fx that was all set up and ready for him, and he just didn't have a choice, you know? And there's a lot of cats in town that are like that and don't, you know, it's a lot easier for front of house. It's easier to move around. The tone's more consistent. But yeah, I watch buddies play all the time, and they're going direct in, and it sounds great. You know, they're playing great. Go to take a solo, feel like it sounds great. Can't really hear very much of anything they're playing. And that's why, like, you come to a Lanco show, my shit is loud on stage. And when I take a solo, you're going to hear it. Now, when I'm not sticking out, I'm turning the volume down and we're managing it. I'm not just blasting the whole time. But I noticed that a lot. This wasn't that long ago. I went and saw a great gig, and I won't even say the artist's name just because I'm not talking smack. But Buddy was playing guitar. Sounded great. Everyone's direct in. The only live sound on stage is the drums. And you could tell from where I was sitting. Now, in a giant arena, you wouldn't really know, you know. But in a club that holds 400 people, you're really hearing there's not stage volume. The lead singer is a killer guitar player. Ripping guitar solos all night. And I kept saying to everybody, man, sounds great. I'd love to hear him through an actual amp. I'd love to actually really hear what he's doing. You know, you could hear it, but it's so lost in... The engineer's not pushing the fader enough when he's going to solo, and it's just kind of this background thing, and yeah, man, it's different context, though. A lot of people go direct in, a lot of people get it sounding great, and when you're at a massive level of an arena level, most of those people can't hear the stage volume anyways, and you got a massive PA driving your sound, you know, so I get it. Amps are finicky, amps can die. If you're traveling with an amp, at a certain level, you've got to have a backup. Now, I've got a bunch of redundant things. Even on fly dates, I've got a backup backline amp, and I've got my on-the-ground direct-in rig that is worst-case scenario. So I'm prepared, but man, I hate it. Don't like it at all. Don't like playing with it. I don't play good with it. I don't sound good. I can't get in the moment. Doesn't feel good. Feels very compressed, 2D, not 3D. It doesn't have the oomph. I can't control my sound. You know, my volume particularly. So anyways, that's a really long rant about it, but yeah, all real amps. You know, and I'm very thankful. I'm in a band that is very about that. Jared plays a real amp. We're about real amps, volume on stage. Chandler's playing through a real bass cab. He's not just going direct. And it sounds better. The stage feels better. You play better. We've got rockin' moments where we improvise and jam, and I've got one ear out, and I can hear the click in my left ear, and that's it. And I'm listening to the band. Anyways, I know I ranted about that a bunch. Don't let that discourage you, and to be honest, especially if you're playing in Nashville these days, you almost have to have some type of direct option, which I do have. I'm prepared for that. But man, fucking sucks. Let me tell you. I hate doing that. Okay, anyways, I really ranted about that, you guys. Sorry. But not to deter you, Dent Man. That's just how I feel. Okay. Another great tip for new performers. Dynamics. Yeah. Hey, thanks. I really agree with that, and that goes to my point of what I was just saying, Sean. Dynamics. What's the story behind your blue ring? It's sick. Hey, thanks, man. This is actually real, and my mom's side of the family is all, especially my mom's grandma, Native American and Native American roots, and I might not look like it a ton because now I'm a couple generations down, but my grandma and especially my what are they, great uncles, my grandma's brothers, all really look like it. They in Montana. In fact, I actually got a little bit of money, which almost feels wrong to say because there's a lot of people that have a lot more of that blood in them that deserve it more. But I got just a small amount of money for college, maybe like $2,000 or something. But all that to say, there's a ton of turquoise in our family from that. Like this, what is it, sterling silver? I don't know, silver and turquoise things. So it was a gift from my family. And that's really cool. I also have a, where's that bolo? Oh, let's do shit on the ground. I don't know where the bolo is. But anyways, I've got a couple cool little pieces, but this is the only turquoise thing so far. And this is just a cheapo little ring, right? But this one is actually real. But it was a gift from a family, so I don't feel bad saying that. It's not like I went out and was like, oh, I'm balling out on some turquoise. But that's the story behind it. I'd love to hook up with Rhett Shull and do some stuff. Absolutely, you know, he's way bigger than I am in the YouTube space. I don't think he really plays out as much anymore. I don't really know, but yeah, man, that'd be a ton of fun and really cool. I got to get a little bit bigger. I've got a video coming out with a channel y'all know that's yeah, it's gonna be really cool. I don't know why I got asked to do a hang in interview. I mean, I do know why, but really cool, honestly. All the other people on the channel are light years caliber ahead of where I'm at. But it was really cool, and there's just some really cool stuff maybe happen with that. But the video will be out hopefully going into next month, or within a month, I don't know, something like that. But yeah, talk about something really cool, man. And I haven't been a little nervous sitting down and playing in a minute, and there I was like, okay, because there's jamming. I'm playing in the video. I'm playing with another guitar player. And then we have kind of a slight interview, hang, talk. It's a cool thing, man. Yeah, I haven't been a little nervous in a minute of being like, damn, here I am. I don't know why I'm sitting here doing this or why y'all asked, but we had a lot of fun, man. I think we had a good conversation. We got some cool jams in. Just sent it, man. Really cool. So I'm looking forward to that coming out. I'm really looking forward to that coming out. Okay, hi Tim. How does the neck feel on the PRS? Thin or chunky? Absolutely fuzz-based. This one is an in-between. It's a little bit thicker, but not, when I say a little bit thicker, don't think I mean real thick. It's not real thick, but it's a little bit thicker, and I love it. This is the perfect in-between for me. I love these necks, man. It feels so good. All that low. You gotta turn the tone up, don't you? All that stuff. That'd be a little bright for me. That's why then I roll that tone back. Okay, just curious how you learned to play on your own, vids, books, lesson music, etc. I was curious how long it took you to get comfortable performing with others. Great question, Mike. I hope you're still in here because I know I'm behind on the comments. I learned through YouTube, man. I had some great mentors along the way. I took a handful of actual lessons. But YouTube, playing the songs, how long did it take me to get comfortable playing with others? I mean, Depends on the level of comfort you're talking about, because there were stages. There was a point where I played in my little high school rock band. I was very fortunate. In my high school, we had like an after-school rock band called the Tuesday Night Rock Band. We practiced on Tuesday nights. And we'd play songs like "Are You Gonna Be My Girl" and stuff, "Back in Black" or whatever, stuff like that. And that's where I started to get to really play with other people, play with a drummer, a full band. And there was a point at the end of high school where I felt really comfortable with that. Then I moved to college in what's it called, in Columbia, Missouri, and there it was just it was a same type of thing where after a little while I started getting comfortable playing with others. Then in Nashville, it took me a couple years to start feeling comfortable because everybody's so good, and I had to shed so much and get so much better and work, and I'm still doing that. But now I feel a lot more confident and comfortable. Honestly, too, and this might sound, I don't want it to sound this way or that way, but since I've gotten the Landcoat gig, in that, not even just getting the gig, being in the band, that's given me like a little bit more sense of confidence of being like, okay, I'm not the best player out there. I don't shred, but I can do my thing. And it's made me more comfortable and confident of sitting in those rooms and being like, there's tons of players that are better than me, but I'm still successful right now. I'm still got a job I love. I'm doing stuff, you know what I mean? So it's been stages through that, but that never completely goes away. But now I feel more comfortable being like, okay, I might not be the best in the room, but I have a job and I do good at my job. So lean into my thing. What's Tim's thing? Lean into it, Hey, thanks for the great question, though. Great question. Okay. Do you play mandolin? What mando do you have? And are mando players in demand? They are in demand in Nashville. I have the cheapest Savannah $85 mandolin sitting on the wall that has one missing string and is out of tune. I don't play it great. I could play some licks in G, and that's about it, honestly. I recently saw a young French trio, Slift, I don't know how to say it, and the guitarist used a bass, I'm assuming you meant bassman, cranked. There's no way he could use a modeler. No feedback from a modeler. I agree, man. Just how it goes. Ain't nothing like warm two-man sound. I agree. Okay, yeah, I'm really behind on the comments, aren't I, you guys? Hey, I appreciate y'all hanging out. And I'm going to hop off soon, but I want to talk to you guys for a second. When did you originally grow up before you moved to Nashville in St. Louis, outside of St. Louis? Area called Eureka and Chesterfield. Between those two. 2 lives in one day. Yeah. Although I didn't go live earlier. That other one's just a normal video. But I am wearing the same hat and the same sweatshirt. I promise I have on different pants, shirt, underwear, socks. But the hat and sweatshirt are the same, so it probably looks like it's the same. Tyler Larson is in Nashville and is a really nice guy too. I bet, Billy, it'd be awesome to do something with him. But I don't know him. Oh, I see. You got to guessing now. It's none of who you guessed. I don't know that I even have to keep it a secret, but I'm going to keep it a secret. It's definitely not Rick Beato. Definitely not. Their channel's big, but not as big as Rick Beato. But they're not just a YouTube channel. I'm really kind of giving it away, aren't I? Do you ever have days when you don't feel like picking up the guitar? Absolutely, man. I'll go through little periods of like that, kind of. And I try and learn something new. Gets me inspired again. Refreshes everything. All that kind of stuff. But yeah, sometimes if you're playing a ton, now this is for people that are practicing a ton, sometimes it's good to set it down for a day. Don't pick it up for a day, I've gone through a bunch of periods like that in my life where I'm playing so much all the time, and then I have a couple days off, and I'm so refreshed coming back, and you forget you need that sometimes. So don't be afraid if you're playing a ton to, do that once in a while. My brother, what's up, Sean? Have you ever learned Texas-sized headache? Been my project for the past day or so. Hey, great to see you too, man. I haven't. I don't know it. Who's it by? I don't know, or maybe it's one of those that I do know it but don't know it. Always play with people who play better than you. That's the fastest way to make progress. Absolutely. And Andy knows that's the name of the game all day long. And that's why I preach, if you want to do it and this and that, come to Nashville. Come to Nashville. I promise there will be people, a lot of people, better than you. I don't care how good you are. You could be Luke McCreary. You know, you could be Guthrie Trapp by any of these people, you know, and they're going to talk about cats in town that they look up to. There's always a bigger fish, for the most part. And just different styles, you know. You might be the master at one, but can you play like Julian Lage? Or then you go from that to, can Julian play like Brent Mason? No. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's just so many. So being around people that are really good is really good. And that's when I started to be like, I'm progressing a lot quicker. You know. Do you see yourself staying in Lanco 10 years from now or going the session guitarist route? Like kids, family, and stuff, do you want to not do the touring thing? Great question, Richard. Everyone in Lanco has kids and is married except for me. I'm the only one that's not. And they still do it. And yeah, I'd love to be in Lanco 10 years from now. Especially if I'm in Lanco 10 years from now, that means we're doing well. Yeah, being a part of the band, it's the difference between working for a company and being a partner in the company. All the other side gigs in Nashville and stuff, you're seeing a paycheck for a show. I'm not going to get in and break down like what all my pay is, obviously, and stuff. I don't even know if I'm allowed to do that, but I'm not going to risk it. Even though I know that would probably make a video that a lot of people would like to click on and hear about. But you got to have a little bit of a boundary somewhere. But it's the difference between being a partner in a company and an employee. So if Lanco's winning, I'm winning. We're all winning, right? More so than just, okay, I play the show and I get a paycheck. So, yeah, I'd love to stay in Lanco. That's the goal. I've signed in. I'm on. I mean, I am here to make this shit good, great. We got some really cool stuff coming. Next year is going to be, you know, and it's honestly, if the trajectory continues the way I feel like it's going to be awesome for the channel because I'm going to get to take you guys from cool stuff I'm doing now to like really cool stuff. And I'm really excited about that, but I'm invested. Now that goes both ways. If you're a partner in a company and the company's doing great, you're seeing benefits. Now if that company sinks, you're not seeing anything. I mean, you know, it's risk reward. It's risk reward, and no one in town can really offer you that. There's just no bands. There's no. That's not a common thing, you know. You might be playing for, I don't know, and this is me just making this up. I don't know this. You might be playing for Keith Urban, and you've got an $80K a year salary, you know, but you're just gonna make that, you know, as opposed to, well, maybe Keith made however many millions of dollars and you get a little percentage or something, you know. There's other ways to do it. Writing too, a lot of people make a lot of money writing. I'm trying to get more into that. I'm not quite there all the way yet, but the Lanco guys are really good writers, man, really good. All of them are great. Brandon is special, right and wise. Brandon is special. They all are, but Brandon, yeah, I mean, greatest love story, if you know anything about Lanco, Brandon wrote that by himself in his parents' house. Wrote it all by himself. And to write a 2-week #1 all by yourself, it's a good thing. So yes, I'd love to, I mean, I'm signed in. I've signed in blood, not literally. But I'm, you know, I've gone all in on this. And I love it, man. Even if it crashed and burned. I like the guys, the people. It's good influences. They're good, positive people to be around. And man, in this industry, you got to look and say, okay, what's worth what, you know? Do I love the music? Do I love the people? Or am I just out there for money? What is it, you know? And those are strong, important factors that made me be like, I'm in. Put me in, coach. Like, you know, even just simple stuff, getting to play on the records. Man, nobody's playing on, not no live band. That's not true. The vast majority of people that are playing live in Nashville, the vast majority, no one's playing on the records, you know. Now Post Malone, yeah, I think he's taken out a lot of the studio band cats, you know. But Morgan Wallen's a good example. You know, his live players, I don't know this is the case for all of them, but I know some of them are not the people that are playing on the record, you know. So even just the fact to get to sit down and record with Lanco is such a treat, man. Such a treat. Okay, I've really been ranting. Hey, but thanks for the great question, and I hope that doesn't come off this or that. I'm just being real with you guys, you know. Okay, see yourself in Lanco. I met Tyler and told him about you, so maybe he will reach out. Oh, heck yeah, Billy. That's super cool. How'd you meet Tyler? He probably just looks at my YouTube channel and goes, this kid's only got coming up on 11K. Talk to him in a couple years. But have you heard of Jeff Smithhart Band, 1836? I haven't. Do I need to check it out, Ricky? Do you take the tip bucket around and chat up the audience on your cover gigs? I used to, Scott. I used to. The cover gigs that I'm filling in for now, no. No one's running the bucket. In the one cover gig I do, there's no requests. You know, if someone comes up and requests something and it's on the set list, because we have a set list, we'll play that sooner. Unless it's like one of the ending songs. We end with like a bunch of rock songs, Mr. Brightside, stuff like that. But if someone comes up and requests Should Have Been a Cowboy 6 songs before we play it, we'll just play it there. But I used to, man, when I played down at Tootsie's, I was the tip bucket runner. And I'd get off stage and the singer could play good enough guitar. He's a good guitar player. Charles Walker, who's a great buddy. He's a great guitar player. In fact, I've watched Charles. Charles was a good guitar player. I've watched him get so much better so quick, which is really cool to see. And I've spent a lot of time playing with Charles. We played a lot together. Charles is an OG, one of my best friends. But anyways, yeah, I used to. I'd hop off, take the tip bucket around to each table in the bar or people, and I'd go right up to the table and I'd say, "What's up, guys? I'm here taking tips and requests for the band. $20 for a request." Talk to the people, chat it up, and that's something I just so happen to be kind of good at. I didn't think I would be, but so I used to. Cousin plays in that band. He won Best Gangster Country Band. Your cousin plays in in Jeff Smithhart. Right on. What is he playing it? Joe Diffie. Tim, what's your favorite pedal of all time? Oh, Brian. What's my favorite pedal? Honestly, I don't want to be the Nashville cliche and say the Nobles, ODR1, because I was late to the game on it too. I've only had it for a couple years, but I love it, especially with the single coil stuff. Like on this back pickup, this can be kind of bright. That's really bright. And honestly, if I was playing this guitar through this amp, I started with the Telly, which is darker than this actually, but I would set this amp a little bit different. Like right now, I'd roll this down, I'd put this up, I'd put that up. See, instantly. That's not as bright as I just had it like this. This is how I just had it. This is extra bright. But that Nobles. Scott, hey man, this is for your tip. Thanks, Scott. I appreciate. Hey, you guys, the tips and the lives, honestly, are awesome. I really appreciate it. No one's expected to do that. You don't have to do that. You're always welcome to just come hang. But man, I really appreciate the tips. I mean, seriously, you know, it's awesome. Scott, can't thank you enough. And great to see you in here again, man. You're always in here. Okay. Dick Dropkick Music. Hey, do you think it helps to get a band gig in Nashville if you can do other stuff like photo, video, or production stuff? Or is it only about music and being a good hang? Greetings from Germany. Extra skills will make you more marketable. So extra stuff you can do is not going to hurt you. I will say photo and video specifically, which you might have just said that one. That's hard because if you're playing in the band, they want pictures of the band while you're playing, and you can't do those two at the same time. So for photo and video, you're kind of either going to be the photo video guy or you're going to be in the band. It's going to be one of the two. But if you can run tracks, sing backup vocals, play multiple instruments, some people, when you're driving a bus, like a tour bus, a Prevost or whatnot, there's a good amount of cats that are band players, and also an extra marketing piece, they have their CDL and can drive a bus. And then if you've got, so drivers can drive, I think overtime is up to 10 hours, and then you have to have 8 hours of rest. And that's like the law. And they've got like a digital system they have to log it by. There's no, once the driver's on the clock, there's no just, oh, he'll just pull an overnighter. Once you're at that level, you know, when you're driving around in a car, it's 4 dudes and whoever's driving's driving. But at the pro level, you've got a professional driver that's there just to drive. Now, if you've got a band and, you know, the gig is 12 hours away and the driver just literally, by law, can't go just 12 hours in one go. If you're the bass player and you have your CDL and you can drive, then instead of them hiring a whole nother driver, because even just for 2 hours, if we had to get there and no one can drive, like Lanco would have to have 2 drivers out and they'd switch off. You have to have 2 drivers, you know? Whereas the bass player, it saves money. So that's another marketable thing you might not think about. It takes being at a certain level because the band you're in needs to be in a bus. But that's something you maybe wouldn't think about. Keith Urban said he writes with a drum machine. Yeah, I think I saw that too. Who in the Rick Beato interview? I think I saw that too. From Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Yeah, man. It's Lancaster and Company is what it is. Brandon Lancaster. Sick. Awesome to hear. Heck yeah. What studios did you record in with Lanco? Any other session work you did in the past? Nothing that you'd hear of, Max. I did very small session stuff, demo stuff, or stuff that's really small projects. But, dude, the first, like, real recording session I ever did with Lanco, check this out. I don't know what the studio's called, but I did it at his studio with him. I did it with Jay Joyce at his studio in East Nashville. My first ever, like, real recording session. Which was scary, honestly. I mean, Jay Joyce just won Producer of the Year last year, and he's won that more than 1 year. Every Eric Church song you ever heard, he does all of them. All the new Lainey Wilson stuff he does. He has more than 75 #1 songs he's produced. I mean, Jay Joyce is like, Dan Huff and Jay Joyce are the heavy hitters in Nashville, producer-wise. Well, there are some other cats. The guy doing all Morgan Wallen stuff, I can't remember his name, is a different guy. But either way, so I recorded at his studio, 2 days in there. Really cool. Only one of those projects came out, and I wasn't even on that. But it was a great experience. Up there, y'all see a little bit of Olive coming in. Say hi, see what's going on. What are you doing? Yeah? Here, you guys want to see the cat? Look at this cat. This is Olive, everybody. This is my child. Say hello. This is a good cat. How many cats let you do this? This is a good cat. This is a good cat. Just hanging. You just hanging, huh? It's a good cat. I love this little animal. There's Olive. Say hi to the camera. There it is. Good shot. I need to make that the cover photo of this. Right? Alright. Good cat, man. So, first one was with Jay Joyce. Now we've been doing it Smokestack. And we're going back into a studio called Smokestack, which is a guy named Paul Mokes. I actually don't know very much about him, but there's some cool videos on YouTube of the studio and whatnot. And we're with a different producer named Jared Conrad. And the music that I'm playing on that's out in the world now is that. But I'm not a studio guy. I'm learning. I am far, 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 far from a Tom Bugavac, you know. Anyways, hey, thanks for the awesome questions and comments, you guys. I've stayed on here a lot longer than I have meant to, but... Tyler, Cardinal Black, right on. You mentioned Mr. Brightside. Any tips on playing the intro? Okay, Andy. Let's see, so... I'm not great at playing it. I mean, this is how I play it, and it's not perfect. I think that's what I kind of do. Although I kind of palm muted me. That open string is good. Now, if the singer's changing up the key, they're going to kind of screw you. turn the tone down and get a more... So I play. It's a stretch and it's really high up there. And really only the bass note is moving, right? But that open string's important. I'm not great at it. All right, you guys, I am about to hop off, but I'm going to answer the questions I haven't answered yet. You ever play Roberts, and what did you think of Jesse Lee? And what do you think of Jesse Lee Jones? I haven't played Roberts. And Jesse Lee Jones, I don't know that I know. It's probably one of those that I do know and don't realize it, but I haven't played a Roberts before. Who feeds it when you're gone? There's someone here to watch the cat. If anyone on here has not checked out Chris Buck, yeah, I agree. Practice slow, build your speed. Andy Cooper. Did I miss Andy? Oh, yeah. No matter, it's tough chord, but it's not impossible to play. Raise the height of your guitar better. Yeah, it's true. Catch any of that show in Third and Lindsley? I did not. You see Olive walking back there. I did not. I did not. There's a deeper reason for that I'm just not going to get into on the internet. But no, I didn't catch any of it. I would love to. I would love to be able to. I mean, I could, but and especially a bigger show like that, I could. But some of the underdog stuff and whatnot, it's just yeah, not great. I love them, especially Bukovac. But no, I'm not going to get into any of that on the internet. And I'm sorry to say that to you guys. That's a little bit of a cliffhanger. But I'm not going to talk bad. Okay. I will say I listened to that record, and I love that record a lot. I really like it. I think it's genius. Okay. Thanks for the response. Absolutely, man. Do you play bass also? Not very well. I play it at jams. Hey, Tom Flo for the $5. Thank you. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate you. You guys, thank you for the tips. As I'm about to hop off, we're getting a couple more tips. Thank you. You know I appreciate that, man. Always do. How did you like the Backline AC30s you got to play? I assume these were new Chinese-made ones. No, I don't think so. Honestly, when we do Backline, you tend to assume Backline's bad. The Backline companies we work with, the majority of the time, bring out good gear. So no, I think they're all American ones. I know I played a hand-wired one not that long ago. I've played a couple old ones. You know, these Backline companies have a good collection of gear. And when we work with them and stuff, they're definitely going to bring out the best AC30s they've got. So I've played with some cool ones. Maybe I have played a Chinese one too. I don't know. But they're good. I just switched back I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm making another gig vlog, but I'm leaving tomorrow night. And I'm playing in California on Saturday, because tomorrow's Friday, at a casino, I believe. But there, I switched back to a twin reverb for this gig. So I'll have a twin there. I should have a twin. We'll see. I think it's a twin, though. Okay. I'm a drummer. What do some drummers do that get in the way or is a turnoff while playing live? Just curious about your perspective. Oh, Tom, I see. I didn't realize the question wasn't in the tip, but I got you. Not counting the song off. And then the biggest pet peeve is just not watching and paying attention at the end. You know, at the end of songs. Eyes up, ears up. Watching everybody, because when I'm doing the cover stuff like Lanco, it's set. The song is going to end. We know how it's going to end. We've done it a bunch. We've rehearsed it. There's a track in our ear saying ending 2, 3, 4. But on the cover stuff and all the other normal stuff where that's not the case, There's a lot of times where there's open-ended solos and I'm just going, and when the person's not watching me and I get done with the solo and I go to turn around and go, and they keep going, it's like, damn, now I look dumb because I should have kept soloing and we didn't end the song, so I'm just playing through the progression. Whatever, right? So I think it's just kind of an eyes up, ears up type thing, watching the other musicians, you know. That's what I feel like. We're in California, El Cajon, at a casino in El Cajon. Playing at a casino. I don't know what casino. But with that, you guys, I'm going to hop off. Hour and a half thing. I always come on here and say, I'm just going to do it for a little bit. Then I do it forever. But I love it, man. I love hanging out with you guys. I can't thank you enough for the tips, man. I mean, seriously, you know. Yeah, I come on here and hang out because I like to hang out with you guys. But as you know, too, this is all of YouTube is another part of my business. I love making the videos and it's creative, but generating a little extra income off of it is also where I'm like, I should keep making videos because, you know, it's not like I'm making bank like someone with 1 million subscribers, but all that stuff helps. You know, let's be honest about it, you know. Too far south. If you get north, I would try to catch you. Absolutely. Well, we'll be up north. We play in California quite a bit, actually. But, hey, great to see all you guys. Thanks for tuning in again for another one. Hanging out, talking, the lives. I really like the lives. I love doing it. I like answering questions. I like hanging with you guys. I like playing guitar. So I can't thank you enough. Thanks for checking it, hanging out. And until next time, you guys, we're signing off. All right, here we go.